when it's not just a mosque.
Police established a cordon separating the large crowd from this. A group of less than 50 gathered with Union and St George flags to protest, they said, against immigration.
They're leaving their women and children at home. If they were that frightened for their safety, they'd send their women and children and fight for their country back.
How do you know they're on?
Bro, one of the best things to do in this circumstance is just to do hog watch and honestly let it rip. Some of the best content. I know that like things seem very dark, especially if you are a black or brown person living in the UK, if you're a Muslim person living in the UK, if you're Arab living in the UK, and you're like, what the f is going on? Shit is out of control crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. Watching British hogs just like not realize how insane they sound has been incredible. You could just put a camera on them all day, every day and follow them around. I would watch that shit 24/7. I'm not kidding. Like, I thought our hogs are fun and entertaining and cool. Like, you got the fucking Heil Titler guys. You got fucking Meal Team 6 guys, right? You have like different varieties of hogs in America. British hogs, I think, are of a very specific variety where they actually break the mold even from like American cognition, where we look at British people here in the United States of America and we think like, oh, they're intellectual. They have always been presented as like the nerdy people in movies and stuff. So like there is an air to like listening to the British accent. Like there's an air of like intellectualism that is associated here in America for the British accent, not for these hogs, bro. They are so stupid. Like stupid. They completely destroyed like years and years of American media showing British people as like smart intellectual nerds. They have done it. They have successfully destroyed it. Every time I see an EDL guy, I'm like, how can they be so fucking dumb? Some of my favorites have been the guy being like, they're taking off fucking jobs, lad. And then the woman will be like, well, have you tried to get a job? He's like, no, I haven't tried to get a job. And then she'll be like, oh, what's the reason? He's like, it's because I just got out of prison for burglary and assault, but they're taking off fucking jobs. It's like, bro, what are you saying? Fix your life, big dog. Yeah, I did some time in a fucking bin. I did some time in a fucking bin for a murder, but honestly, they're taking off fucking jobs. I wouldn't have done the murder. Like, they are so oblivious. I don't know what they did that like led them to think that voluntarily revealing this information wouldn't make you look like a complete moron. But the lack of recognition, the lack of self-awareness is incredible. It blows my mind. I think Margaret Thatcher should be unearthed from her grave for the unimaginable crimes that she has committed for England in general. She is Ronald Reagan, but for England. What she did to the North, what she did to like labor strongholds, what she did to labor in your country, if you're British, the consequences are so devastating. Because like all these people that I'm making fun of right now, they all were just like regular jobbers. They were regular old people. Their social safety nets crumbled. Their jobs went away. They got destroyed, and they just sat there with so much anger and resentment. And then somebody came in and was like, yeah, it's actually black people, it's actually brown people, it's actually Muslims, it's actually Muslims. That's the reason why you don't have a job anymore. And it's like, as someone who lives in the North, these people are like dogs. They don't work and bitch and moan all day down. The local about immigrants, no GCSEs or qualifications is sad because the majority of them are caught in a cycle of poverty, but there are no mechanisms to pull out. Our schools are really underfunded, and so are social mobility support. Their hate is bred from a lack of exposure to other people. 100%. This is West Virginia. Like, this is Appalachia. They're not like a unique breed, okay? This is just what happens as a defense mechanism, as a way to like generate a sense of entitlement for yourself when you have no other outlet, when you have nothing. You've been given no training programs. You've been given no options to like work. It's not like these people wouldn't work if they had the opportunity, but they've become like hateful little demons who are now just like unleashing on other people who are born out of the same material conditions as they are. They just look different. Nobody is born racist. Nobody. Remember that. It is all a byproduct of the material circumstances that you're subjected to, the material conditions that you're born into. The social conditioning is how you become racist. That's it. And these guys have nothing. And the only people that are reaching out to them and trying to help them use their anger and resentment and frustration. They capture their resentment and anger and frustration, and they launch it upon people who are trying to make a living. I mean, I called that this was going to happen with the Keir Starmer election, but I'm shocked at how quickly they seized on this, and I'm kind of shocked that the EDL has this much play still. I did not think that Tommy Robinson would make a comeback this hard, this fast.
And the exploitation of our country.
People say, but are you a racist, sir?
Whoa!
That's what people say. People accuse the...
Whoa!
Yeah,
Whoa!
no, that's
Whoa.
what they accuse.
Dog, why are you Sig Heiling? He said, whoa, am I a racist? Well, I've only done Sig Heiled a couple times now. I don't know why I'm doing an indecipherable accent here, but this English girl got Trump tattooed on her head. Yo!
Obviously, people are asking why I got this tattoo. At the end of the day, I absolutely love and appreciate what Trump has done for America. I think he's an absolute great person, and I just feel like he needs to be appreciated.
It's got to be fake. It's got to be a fake tattoo. But even as a bit, even as a fake tattoo, doing this is so insane. Oh my God. I think British hogs might be stupider than American hogs. What happened to your public schools, man? It's evident that these race riots didn't happen down south. Ask the average Southern what their opinion on immigrants, and they'll give a completely different answer to up here. The South has so much more money than us. It's like a completely different world. First time I went to a London suburb, it was like living in another world. Their state schools are better than the private schools up north. It's insane, the gap of education. Yes, and also, you do have to remember, there's also significantly more diversity down south as well. It's the same rural-urban divide in the United States of America that also occurs in England as well. By the way, for those of you in America that are not familiar with this, the North is like former labor towns, you know, working class background for the most part, labor stronghold for the most part, whereas like the South was where the Tories were, like a lot more wealth there. England's entirety, like the entirety of the wealth in England comes from the South, specifically from London, specifically from like the finance sector. There's not much left in the British economy overall, considering that the entirety of the UK, the entirety of the UK was basically just run on colonialism. Even most British and Europeans don't know this, but parts of England are poorer than southern Italy and Sicily, which is insane. England as a whole, I think, is like poorer than some of America's poorest states. England is a very, very poor country. You take London out of the equation, it is like straight up third world conditions. Like people don't really think about that. People don't really consider that at all in the calculation. Bro, we aren't that poor. No, absolutely. England absolutely is that poor. What do you mean? It's so depressing. We can't get out of this spiral. We were the coal mining industry. All the wealth left when the mines closed. London generates approximately 22% of the UK's GDP from Wikipedia. I don't know why you're getting offended at this, because America has parts of America that are also resembling third world like conditions. I don't know why the would get mad at this. It is just our government's literally robbing us blind. It has nothing to do with you or your personal experience at all. It had everything to do with mismanagement and horrifying austerity that your own leaders have subjected you to, similar to what has happened in the United States of America. In the aftermath of the Cold War, neoliberalism, uncontested, has basically created colonial conditions internally. It is created internal colonies. It has basically brought back the colonial ambition and rampant exploitation back into the mainland. That's it. It spread inward rather than outward in the way that, you know, England and United States is still doing that, the outward stuff too, but like doing it inward as well. It's the same exact attitudes. Neoliberalism has people convinced that being poor is a moral failure. They think you're calling them losers just for pointing out their exploitation is wild. Yeah. If you want to understand all of this anger, resentment, and frustration, this guy is pretty correct on it. UK is dealing with a healthcare crisis, a housing crisis, transport crisis, food production crisis. Streets are filthy, can't get a job, shithole, I live here. Exactly. 14 years of Tory austerity. Look where the you are now. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why Keir Starmer who had the charisma of a fucking wet noodle or a blanket, a wet blanket, still